Hey everybody, welcome back to Peace of Mind Kayak Fishing. I'm coming to you today from Cay Creek to begin with and Stromthurman Dam for most of the time on this rather lengthy video. But to begin, let's get the first monster out of the way.
First fish on this very crowded day. Little bass that got fouled before my minnow somehow. Wish I had that worked out.
Now normally every day I go out, I go in the morning. Today I couldn't make that happen and the fishing really showed it on Cay Creek. There he goes. It's a much better fishery early in the morning.
Look down. Fish on. Big fish. Probably a big largemouth. Feels like a big largemouth. Crap.
And this one was going to be a good highlight to the day.
Not gonna go well. I can't get tied onto the side.
You can see how the wind's blowing my kayak away from the fish and past these pilings. Just not good things.
Almost there. Almost there. Back up this way. Come on, paddle. Stay with me now. Stay with me. Get you.
I usually use these bungee cords to tie off the things, whether it be a rock, stick, tree, or these floating buoys. Helps out during the fight.
There we go. Now I should be able to
But
get
this doesn't help right here. Just watch.
Now I should be able to get this big largemouth. Oh!
Yeah. I pulled that line right against that cable. That metal cable. I didn't even think about it, didn't even realize it. And that 4-pound test broke with a quickness.
Fish on. I think. Take it off?
Yeah, if you can't tell the fish is on the line, you know it's probably not a good one.
Yeah, very small.
Good news is this is the last small fish of the day, though.
Very small.
Little yellow perch. Yeah, this was the only bonus for Cay Creek that day. Was watching her blast shad on the top and then be able to throw a zoom fluke in there and nail her.
Finally got one on the boat.
Wish I would have caught it on video. There's a nice still shot of her right here.
That's progress no matter how you do it.
Well, at least we got a little good release video right here. The water's clearing up pretty nicely.
Alright.
But here we are at Stromthurman Dam.
Beneath Stromthurman Dam.
This voiceover pretty good. I'll see if you can hear it.
Up at Clark's Hill. Very late. In the afternoon. Just generally speaking, very out of character. And the fishing showed it. I snapped off one good bass on a cable coming down from a bridge. And essentially I caught up to that. One small yellow perch and one good bass on a super hook. That was it. So we'll see how it goes here. Hell no.
So yeah, I'm turning and burning right now. You heard me say hell no. I was really surprised that there's no boat straight ahead at the corner of the dam. Normally that's the best place to fish. And I got there, I was like, wow, no one's here. And as I was paddling, I just heard a motor coming up the river on my right. So I'm just paddling as fast as I can to get over there to this spot. But while I'm heading over here, again, as you've probably seen in the past, I usually bring the same gear that I've been crappie fishing with out to here because I usually come here as an afterthought. I start the day crappie fishing, and if it doesn't pay off like I want it to, I end up coming to below the dam, seeing if the striper are moving. If I can get a fish out of the current quickly enough, I'll do just fine. But if that fish is able to go and swim strongly out into that current, the odds of me getting it back with that 4-pound test are low. And that little side story will have big implications on this video today. But yeah, I'm almost there. I'm pumping pretty hard, man. With this one corner is the only corner I've really had luck fishing for striper. So if I don't have this corner, the day is shot. But I'll start to chill out in a minute, because it turns out the boat that I heard, that motor that I heard, was just someone heading back to the boat ramp on the South Carolina side. They had just started to open the gates here. Like, you tell they haven't really opened them up, because that line, that buoy line that goes across, is not taut. Not really, not like it is when it's at full open throttle or open gate. Yeah, you see me checking my 6 there. The boat's gone. It's pulling out of the ramp. Good little workout, though. Now, so what I'll be throwing to start off with here. What I do here is what I normally do in relative terms with crappie fishing. I'll have 2 lines with minnows on them. One's going to have a float and be between 4 and 6 feet down. The other one's going to be more or less free lining. It might have a very light split shot on it. And again, I do that because I'm trying to see what the fish want to eat. That's the benefit of having multiple lines in the water, is that you're able to throw multiple presentations. And hopefully in that way find out what's working. Yes, you can't make it out too well from this video, but the sun's coming from my left at this point. That's the west on my left. And all these bubbles that are getting kicked up from the bottom are reflecting the sunlight, and it's absolutely gorgeous. I wish the GoPro did a better shot of, or better job of capturing it, but you know, it is what it is. It's you can see a little bit of it right there. There's some of that sparkle and shine. It's just gorgeous. Yeah, that whole time I was actually trailing a swim bait. I was going a little bit too fast at that point to do anything with it, because I was trying to beat that non-existent boat to the fishing hole here, but I was dragging it for a while. But I've talked about eddies before. This is a prime example of it. You see the current out in front. I'm waiting for it to pan back. That little wall that comes out with the slack water. And no striper can sit in that slack water facing the current, shoot out and grab anything they want to eat, and rest when they're not trying to actually actively eat. And here goes the float line right here. And I'll let the current take that into the eddy, and just let the eddy move it throughout the strike zone. And then I'll free line the other minnow that I'm going to throw. More or less a free line. It's a very light split shot on it. But I've mentioned it before. If you come up here, the thing you have to remember is boat control. Position, position, position. If you get in a bad position after you have a fish on the line, you're going to be in a bad way, and that fact is going to be demonstrated today, unfortunately. But the other thing I really looked at on today is the wind was dead. A lot of times the wind will blow from the west and push you out into the current, and God, is that irritating. But if you have an anchor, you're good to go. I don't happen to have an anchor. If you have an anchor, you're good to go. It's more or less a non-issue for you. But you will need a fore and aft anchor. Fore and aft. Otherwise, you're going to spin left and right and possibly get in some pretty dangerous situations here. I tell you that current's moving. This video does not do it justice. I would not want to be in that fast water at all. Here we go. The action is about to get started. Now the audio doesn't do it real justice because I'm always using my waterproof case on my GoPro. But that rod was about to bend in half and the drag was singing off. Because I keep the drag very light to begin with.
Well, there went my first hit. I had a fish.
And if that drag sings like that, you're usually dealing with a striper.
And then she was gone.
But yes,
Figured out there was a
that hit came on the free line. So when that happens, I'm ditching the float. I had no action on the float whatsoever. Once I see the free line is what they want, I'm going to give the fish what they want. I'm not trying to force feed them something they don't want. Getting real close here, though. It's time to back off. Watch this line. Right now I'm free spooling. You can see it right there. Line just flowing out. Watch what happens when I close the bail. There she goes.
fish on.
And that's what it is, too. It's a war, man.
And definitely a big striper. We gotta start trying to direct her out of that current.
Like I said before, that's the key. You have to control the direction of the fight.
Come on, get out of that current. Get out of that current.
Which is easier said than done on ultralight, no doubt about it.
Alright, I'm getting there now. I'm getting there now. Almost got her out of that current. Whoa, it feels like a heavy fish.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Feels like a big fat hybrid.
Gorgeous day for fishing, though. God, the conditions were fantastic.
Oh, she didn't like going that way. She did not like going that way. Big fish. Big darn fish. Oof. That's strong. Man, is she strong. No. We just got you out of that current. Come on. Get back in the water I don't want to be in.
We're losing the damn rod, man.
There you go, that's it. Ride that current. Ride that current nice and high in the water column. That's it. Yeah.
I tell you, if you're looking for a good time,
I think it's chasing time.
Put those stripers on the ultralight, man. If you're looking to get worn out and have an epic fight on your hands, go for the ultralight.
Where you at? There she is. Just got my first look at her. Oh, wow. That's a big striper. Yeah. Nice big hybrid. Oh, oh, oh. She ain't done yet. Especially now this ultralight. That's it. That's it. Keep coming this way.
Just keep an eye out for her. You get some real nice shots of her in that afternoon sun.
No, not that way. Not that way, you. Look at that. Is that not a gorgeous sight?
Hmm.
Oh, man, man, man. Ah. Look at that. God, I hope the camera's getting it. Every time she turns broadside in the sunlight, it's beautiful. Whew. Shake it out. Shake it out. Come here, gorgeous.
She's just towing me around for now.
Oh, this is nuts.
I'm just trying to take my time. I've had too much heartbreak out here.
There she is again. Come here, you gorgeous, gorgeous fish. Oh!
Hmm.
Woo! Look at that, will ya? Man, 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 man.
See, I'm working on editing this video. Today is the 27th, 28th of May. This is back on the 24th of April. So it brings back memories for me at this point.
That just comes right out. Barely in there. Alright. Let's clear the workspace.
Look at that way.
There's the shot right there. Look at that, right?
As always, I take the sacrifice of these fish very seriously to feed my family. So I like to give thanks for that. Here we go again. They were back to back today, man. Back to back.
Fish on. Alright, got the line in. Right, she's still going. She is way out there.
And like that note says, watch what I do here, spot the mistakes, alright?
This is not good.
You can already see how dangerous and precarious that looks, right?
I'm almost
Keep watching,
and that water's
keep
too
watching.
dangerous for me to chase her in.
right
Yeah, she's gonna
there.
break me off. Oh, shit. Son of a...
Not only did I have the angle of the rod holder too low, I didn't put the rod all the way into the rod holder.
Oh, well.
And as we're often wont to not heed our own advice, the advice I given before about putting a flotation device
That was
on
my
your
favorite
rods,
rod and reel.
of course I hadn't done that.
My
Yeah, that was my favorite ultralight setup. Just spectacular reel, spectacular rod, and It's gone now. And I have no doubt that fish will have no trouble snapping the line, but I'll miss that rod and reel.
Son of a...
There we go again.
Fish on.
You can see that drag.
Fish on. Oh my god. This is the biggest yet. No, that's it. These fish are too big. I gotta start using my heavy gear.
Now, the stripers today were unusually big.
The A-team is on shift today. The striper A-team is on shift today. Just snapped another one off.
And like the note says, that's another one. Not the one you just saw. Another one I snapped off video. On the braid here, which I think is 15-pound test. So it's, when I tell you this big striper were out today, I mean they were out.
These fish tonight are massive.
Here's some frustration in a minute.
I need to be out here on a big damn rod, on a big damn boat, with a big line, and a big damn reel.
It's fun using ultralight when it works out, man, but
I'm out here screwing around with Crappie and bass gear. I need to have legit freaking striper gear tonight. I mean, normally out here, it's middling sized striper. I mean, don't get me wrong, good fish, but not legit monster fish. These stripers tonight are freaking huge, and they are just wearing my gear out, making me look silly as hell. I mean, they are just owning me. I got one of them to start off with, but since then they've been owning my today. Or tonight.
yeah, the truth is the truth, man.
I mean, she grabbed that thing and just started running. Oh my god. Never had a chance, man. Never had a chance. It's only a matter of time till another one hits.
And the action was back to back. I wasn't doing that good at getting them, but action was back to back. Oh, and this is where I tell my wife about the rod and reel.
That was my favorite one, man. I mean, I have no idea how big this striper was, but it had to be absolutely freaking enormous. Because it just it ripped all the line off my reel, and then ripped the rod right off the boat.
But yeah, luckily she, pretty fantastic wife.
And I've broken off 2 more striper. I have one on the stringer. So if I tell you I have to go really quick, it's because there's another one on.
Listens to my woes and takes it all in stride, man.
Yeah, it is a night. Yeah, me too. Thank you. But I got it on video.
Now I really wish I would have went back in slow motion to that rod coming out of the holder.
I'll be home real soon. I'm gonna try and put 1 or 2
We'll see.
more
Maybe I
stripers on
will.
the stringer. 'Cause I still have 2 good rods left.
Well, yeah, still get to go home to a
Me too.
fantastic family, so
Bye.
bad days of fishing to get over them. But yep, as soon as I tried to take the underwater video, here came the next hit.
Fish on. Here we go. Oh, he got off.
It's kind of a rarity. I've started using the octopus circle hooks. And for the most part, man, they put hooks to fish.
Fish on. Fish on. Oh. This feels like a cat. This feels like a catfish. Feels like a nice cat.
Most of my guesses were wrong here.
No, it's a bass. It's a nice bass, I think. Oh, it's a giant crappie. That I was not
Yeah,
expecting.
they were out there in the same water with the stripers.
guess when you get that big, you can roll a striper. Uh-oh. Oh, crap. I got fish on the other line. I think I have a fish on the other line. There's this one. I'm just gonna wait and see what happens on that line.
Like that note says, any hit that I got, I was honestly a little scared, man. The stripers have been so big, just taking my gear. I was a little bit freaked out.
See what's going on here. Gotta see what is going on here. I got a fish on. I got a fish on. Fish on. It feels like it might be another crappie.
Wouldn't surprise me one day to lose a crappie to a striper up here. I mean, there's some massive fish.
I don't know. It's biting very bass-like. See what we got. Another giant crappie. Another giant crappie.
Look at this, will ya?
Bigger than the last one. Look at this. Bigger than the last one.
Yeah, I might have been losing gear, but it was still a heck of a day. The striper drowning those poor crappie, man.
Oh, oh. I think I might have fish on. Yep, fish on. Oh, he just got off. Oh, damn it.
I tell you, that action was hot.
On this line. Definitely hit on this line. Oh, I think I let it go.
And there she goes.
Striper. Why? Why stick on this line?
But yeah, I had my heavy line in the water, and they still want to hit on the ultralight. I don't know if it's because they're seeing or feeling the line. Whatever the reason, man, they're just putting a hurting on me.
Alright, she's gonna snap off in a minute. Pretty sure she's gonna snap off in a minute.
Yeah, this one goes. I couldn't follow her quickly enough. I got caught up in my lines. I got the stringer wrapped around my paddle. What a mess, man. What a mess. What a freaking mess. I'm lucky it was just line trouble and not boat trouble, to be honest.
Definitely.
Like I've said it before, this is the drawback to having multiple lines. You can get in a bad way real fast if you're in current, especially.
There we go. Alright.
Oh yeah, fish is gone.
I'm pretty sure the fish is
She had rubbed me against the buoy line.
I think the only feeling I have left on here is my connection to a buoy.
Here we go again.
Fish on, I think.
I tell you, the action was so hot this night.
Luckily,
You can see it getting darker and darker, but trying to leave at a time like this, trying to leave as a fisherman when the fish are hitting like this, that doesn't work out too well, man.
yep. Yep, another big crappie. Yeah. Oh, the line just broke. The line just broke right there.
Yeah, right at the boat, the line broke.
Boy, that was close. Oh God, that was so lucky I landed that fish. And I knew it too. That's the sad part about it. I knew. And sometimes when you tie an improved clinch knot, when you make that final, on a loop or whatever, it can get wrapped around the actual eyelet of the hook. Instead of cinching down, oh. If that was me hitting my rod or if I had a hit. Keep an eye on it. But anyway, yeah. I mean, the bottom line is, if your knot looks wrong, retie it. And a lot of times it's frustrating or we're too excited to get back to the fishing. But retie your knot if it looks or feels wrong, for the love of God. I'm so lucky I landed that fish. And luck doesn't even begin to describe it, really. by rights, I should have lost that fish.
There she goes.
So I think there's a striper on here. Yep.
Again, on the ultralight. You should be holding that rod though. Even having the angle raised on that rod holder, I was traumatized. I didn't have any faith in it anymore. What I started doing here is starting to try to tow the fish, guide the fight in the direction away from the current. Again, it's easier said than done with all the factors to manage, but it's worth a shot.
Gotta try and get over the slow water. If I can do that, I got a shot. Even on the ultralight. Towing fish, man. Towing fish.
Not a small one either.
I don't know. She's not fighting as hard as the rest of them have been, but every time I try to pull her, she feels plenty heavy. Oh yeah, plenty heavy. Nope. Nope. Not having it. Not having it. Oh no. Oh no, I'm rubbing on something. I think I'm rubbing on a rock. I don't trust my rod holder anymore. Not after last time. Man, I ought to earn some kind of merit badge after this. Some kind of fish fighting merit badge. Oh God.
And the fight was going so good, man.
There we go.
Just executed this fight so well, you know?
Jeez, I still got a big fish to fight.
I can't believe how it ends,
I got a
man.
rope or not, I got a big
Can't
fish to
believe
fight
it.
here. I'm not sure if I'm pulling her to me or she's pulling me to her. Oh! Son of a...
It wasn't even a line break, man. The hook just came out.
The thing is, they don't... The problem is, I've only had one fish. No, correction, I've had two. I've had a striper, and one crappie hit on the braided line. All the rest have come on the monofilament. So right or wrong, oh, well he just didn't break me off. He just he got off. I guess that's better. Didn't use a hook in the matter. But the bottom line is that I'm afraid that they're not liking the braided line. So I don't want to go to just braided and not be able to hook any fish. Even if it means possibly losing a lot of fish like this. Whether it be line breaks or what have you.
This right here is artificial. just lure casting on my biggest rod I had out there.
Fish on. Through all
Hard
my
fighting
lines.
fish.
But the good news is, she's on a big rod.
And I was using about a 7-inch swim bait on this one.
She's on a big rod, big lure, big trebles.
But it does feel good being able to put real pressure on that fish with a heavier rig. Feels very good. Tiring, but good.
There she is.
You can see that sun's getting lower and lower, man. But yeah, fighting the current, boat position, and the fish, man.
There's a fish.
These fish wore me out today, man. Wore me out.
Oh, there's a fish.
There you go.
There's a fish.
As I said before, great fish, but below the dam,
There she goes.
they have to be 27 inches. That's about a 22.
Okay. You.
So even though it weighs 4 or 5 pounds, how thick they are, that's not a keeper fish.
Over there.
Look closely, you can see him underwater. It's kind of cool whenever that red light comes on. Get that shot of the fish here before she goes off.
Yep. Fish on.
That sun's falling behind the trees. It was so hard to leave.
Not that way.
Had I been prepared for night fishing,
Not that
as
way.
dangerous as it was,
Untangled in my own
would I
line.
have been able to talk myself into leaving? I don't know, man.
That's why I give 'em fishing 2 lines.
I'm pretty bad when the fishing's that good.
Ew. I don't want to go in the current. Come here, giant crappie.
Yeah, I know you can't see her now, but give it a second. I'll hold her up to what last bit of light we have in the day. It's a nice crappie.
There.
There you go.
I'm not sure the camera can see anymore, but
About a
there she is.
14-inch fish, man. And this is where I try to get along with what I had. That's the light from my phone. This is me trying to untangle the mess of line I have at this point. Watch this.
Huh?
That's the battery on my phone dying.
Oh, come on.
Which is doubly bad, because now I can't even call anyone. So long story short, it's just not safe at this point. It probably wasn't safe for about an hour before this point, but now it's
Wild night this was.
definitely not safe. So it's time to get out of here. I mean, if you're not out there with a buddy, and I realize I'm saying this as I'm doing the opposite of what I'm going to recommend, but if you're not out here with a buddy in conditions like this, you're asking for trouble, man. Big trouble. But anyway, thanks much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed seeing some of my pain out here. Maybe you learned something or at least enjoyed yourself, alright? Feel free to subscribe. Have a good one. Best of luck.